There's been a lot of focus in the media on what's called binge drinking. A lot of binge drinkers are younger people, at least that's what gets put in the media. We hear a lot about binge drinkers in college, and there is a great deal, we know from research, there's a great deal of binge drinking in college students and on college campuses. In spite of colleges becoming less tolerant, and a lot of colleges, in fact, have zero tolerance policies for any drinking or drug use on campus. Binge drinking does have an actual definition, and the definition is 5 or more drinks in a single episode for men and 4 or more drinks in a single episode for women. And when we talk about how many drinks someone has, you have to really define what a drink is. In my practice, when people talk to me about how many drinks they have, I always ask them how do they define a drink, because some of us define a drink as a typical, if it's hard liquor, as a typical cocktail, which is a typical shot of liquor. But often what I find is that people will actually define a drink in a very different way. So they'll define a drink as a tumbler of scotch, which is really the equivalent of 4 drinks if you're defining it just as a normal shot. Again, a glass of wine is generally considered 6 ounces. Well, some people drink which is usually 4 to 6 glasses of wine in a bottle of wine. So when I ask people that, sometimes they say, I have 2 glasses, and for them, that's a full bottle of wine. So that's much different. So when we define, and one beer is one regular 12-ounce beer, not a 40, which sometimes people really talk about as one beer because it's one bottle. So when we're talking about 5 drinks for men and 4 for women, we're defining that as one 12-ounce beer or 5 12-ounce beers or 4 or 5 6-ounce glasses of wine, or 4 to 5 regular shots in a cocktail. So that's really how we define binge drinking. Binge drinkers, that doesn't mean that they drink that every day. If they drank that every day, it would not be called binge drinking. That would be a real alcohol use disorder. So binge drinking, by definition, is drinking those large amounts periodically. Again, it may be just on the weekend, or maybe for college kids, the weekend often starts on Thursday. So it may just be in the few days of however one defines a weekend, but not daily drinking.